So
Thank you,
you
man.
would say that you think in 5, 10, 20 year terms, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I've got a very long-term mindset. Now, granted, I'm not blind to the immediate price action, right? I'm sure that you're because you cover Bitcoin, right? I'm sure you're very well aware of the 4-year cycles, right? So that
Yeah.
said, like as opportunities present themselves, I will definitely be making sure to DCA out, just like I'm DCAing in right now, right? So I'm keeping that in mind. Obviously, when the next bull run comes, we'll be rewarded very greatly for all of the DCAing that we're doing now. And so that's literally what I'm doing, is just keeping an eye on the market, watching the 4-year cycles, watching other content creators like CCV, Crypto Capital Venture. He does a really good job of charting things. And I'm even learning from people in that respect, right? So like I said, I try to stay in my lane, but yeah, man, as soon as we see the next bull run, I'll definitely be making sure to take profits along the way. And whenever we get into the next bear, right, which might be ADA at $1, might be ADA at 50 cents, I'll DCA back in again. It's all part of the process.
When I first owned Bitcoin, it was worth $1,000. So that was like
Mhm.
what, 2018, about that time. I saw it go up to 20,000, but that's when I wasn't an investor. I didn't have that mindset. So what can people do to get started? Where's that barrier, right? For a lot of people. How would you recommend somebody who, maybe they're in high school or they're in college, they want to participate? What would you tell them to do if you were giving them advice? Not telling them what to buy, but how would
Mhm.
you help guide somebody?
Yeah, I think I can answer that question without necessarily telling them what to buy. And that's actually pretty simple, right? So, number one, educate yourself, right? Number two, follow content creators like yourself, right? Crypto Moose or myself, which are in the educational space, right? There's a lot of different types of content creators. So understanding the types of content creators, I think, is huge. Whether you're following an educational person, whether you're following a moon boy, whether you're following, a loyalist, whatever the case is, just understand the type of content that you're consuming. But over all of that, you have to be confident in your own abilities. And to be confident in your own abilities, you have to do your own research. So I know it's something that everybody says, but I heavily believe in it. And there's plenty of different people that will always tell you what they want you to hear. And if you don't understand that very early on, that like this space right now is brand new and that everybody is trying to get their own project up and running and they all have their own incentives to do that, then the better you'll be off. So that's probably my best thing right there is, educate yourself, make sure that you dive into educational content, and then just become a part of the community. Sign up on Discord, jump in the Discords, ask questions, jump on Twitter, post people or post with people, follow people, retweet, tag, do all that stuff because again, it all goes back towards being a community, right? And that was one of the main reasons why I joined Cardano specifically is because of the education, their peer reviewed research approach. And then again, the fact that they're building here for the long run and we're not essentially backed by any VC or capital funding, right? Which is also probably why Cardano doesn't get a lot of the love that all these other projects get. But I think that's
Yeah.
why it's an ecosystem that will be built to last.
Yeah, I agree with that too. That's probably like I wouldn't say I'm a Cardano maximalist or whatever they want to say, right? I would say I'm more of a Bitcoin maxi because Bitcoin, in terms of cryptocurrencies lasting, I see that just being very strategic if you're going to plan for the long term. It's a little bit boring, Bitcoin, but at least with Cardano, there's so much that's going to be built on top of it. Using Cardano, I think, at least from my perspective, if you haven't started but you want to learn, I think you should dive in a little bit, like make some transactions. I thought NFTs were a joke until my friend sent me one, and I'm like, I kind of like this ghost chain. He sent me a ghost chain, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
generous. Um, then I ended up minting the Boss Cats kind of cheap. That was before smart contracts were implemented, so you kind of had to do things on the manual side. But I was doing some math. These are the odds of receiving a gold bank manager. So
That's that
0.00023%. If my
that's a
math's
lot of
right, 10
zeros.
divided by 52. A lot of
Yeah, that's a
zeros.
lot of
So
zeros.
yeah, maybe I would hold on to it if I got one as well.